Hi friends, and welcome to 5-Minute Bedtime Stories with Missy Lane. Today I have a very special book that I want to share, and it came recommended by my friends in Ohio, Miss Layton, Palmer, and Penelope. This one is for you. Thank you so much for the recommendation. It's a unique book and it's a special book because it talks about something that some of us might deal with. It talks about a disorder called sensory processing disorder. And if you've never heard about that, my friends, then you'll find out about it as we read together this book called Wren's Pebble, a story of being brave, learning in a new place, and finding joy in the little things, by Abby Huth. It was the first day of school, and Wren hoped to be brave to make new friends. Wren had senses that were extra unique, but sometimes, if too much or too little, they just did not make sense. Right? So sensory processing disorder is sometimes when we get overwhelmed with our feelings and our senses because our brain can't always organize and respond to the different things that awake our senses, right? It might be something that's too loud or something that we touch. She loved to run and feel the grass between her toes, the cool breeze and warm sun on her face. She knew every sound, smelled every smell that came to her nose. All of her senses were just right when she was outside in her happy place. Right? So when she's out in nature, she loves all the things that she sees and that she hears and that she smells and that she feels. But now it's time for school. And just as she waved goodbye, a tiny sparkly pebble caught Wren's eye. Holding the pebble, she focused on her sense of touch and knew it would help her feel calm when all the other senses became too much. So maybe sometimes when she's in a different place or in a different setting like school, that's when her senses don't always make sense, right? They might become too much for her to deal with. So this little pebble that she finds is hopefully going to help her throughout the day. Wren walked bravely into school, squeezing the pebble she had found, but suddenly she stopped at the classroom, much too bright and bustling with too much sound, right? Because now it's not just her anymore. She has all these students that are with her in the classroom. And so all that noise is getting to her. Her heart started thumping like a drum. Looking around the room, all of it became a blur. The walls were covered with too much to see. This room is too much for me, she knew for sure. So I wonder how she's going to deal with it. How can she work through this problem? Then she was startled by a soft touch as she stood trembling at the door. Miss Clara greeted Wren with a kind smile as she dimmed the lights, inviting Wren to join her classmates who were playing on the floor. Right, so she thought the room was too bright, so Miss Clara dimmed the lights, which should help, right? And she said, "Come on and play. Let's make some friends." Wren clenched her pebble and felt more calm when a nice girl named Sadie invited her to play. She took a deep breath, showed her friends the pebble, and for a moment, her worries began to fade away. During story time, it was tough to sit still, but Wren tried her best to listen and learn. On her wobbly wiggle seat, she stared outside as her body started to squirm. Touching the pebble between her fingers helped her focus until, ding! The bell chimed and her tummy turned upside down. Her friends hurried to clean up the toys, but Wren froze and felt like she was drowning in a sea of sound. So the bell sound to everybody else was just normal, right? And they knew it was the signal to clean up. But for Wren, that bell was a little too loud, right? It upset her because her brain couldn't process it. Miss Clara came over to comfort Wren with her smile that was kind. Wren uncovered her ears and took another deep breath when she saw it was time. First, lunch, and then recess time. Wren quietly rubbed her pebble, happy to listen and sit by friends, but starting to feel more nervous. Ring! At last, time to go outside for recess. Wren skipped outside with the crowd until suddenly all her senses shouted for her body to stop. Holding her breath and her body still all at once, Wren felt lost right there on the playground blacktop. Why do you think she's feeling nervous again? She keeps getting nervous and upset, right? But then is able to calm down. Miss Claire is helping. Some of the nice classmates are helping. Her pebble that she's holding on to is certainly helping, right? But she keeps having these feelings. Now, again, she's changed settings. She's out in the playground, and so she's nervous all over again. Let's find out how Wren will deal with it this time. What can help, or who can help? The playground was just too much, making all of her senses all mixed up and confused with her fears. She frantically searched her pockets for the pebble while her eyes filled with tears. She could not make sense of all the sounds, and how could her eyes find any of her friends in the big crowd? Sights, smells, and sounds were coming in all directions, and her brain shouted, "Overload! This place is too busy and too loud." All of a sudden in the distance, Wren heard someone shouting her name loud and clear. "Wren!" With her knees still hugged tight, she slowly peeked up, noticing friends quickly coming near. As they got closer and closer, Wren wiped the tears from her eyes, looking up in disbelief. She saw Sadie and her pebble. While more friends gathered, she softly let out a sigh of relief. Is she starting to feel better? Yeah, she sure is. Deep, calming breaths always help. They help me. Again, her kind friends are helping her through this situation. And that shiny, lucky pebble that she found. Maybe the playground isn't so scary after all, Wren thought, as she looked around, holding her pebble once again. Recess is really fun and a safe place to play, she realized, and she was surrounded by happy new friends. Wren had a great first day, even at the times she felt a little afraid. At the end of the day, she remembered the best things: Miss Clara's smile, my new friends, and my pebble that helped me be brave. And that's the end. But in the back of this beautiful book, there's a little blurb about what sensory processing disorder is so that you can understand it better. But there's a lot of kids out there and adults who deal with it. And so it's important to, educate ourselves about it, learn about it, and help when we can. So thanks again to my Ohio friends for recommending this book. It is now purchased for our library and will be cataloged here in Bethel Park. All right, my friends, time to sing our two lullabies, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, followed by God Bless the Moon. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Very good, and God bless the moon. I see the moon, and the moon sees me. God bless the moon, and God bless me. And God bless you, boys and girls at home. As always, thank you for tuning in and for watching 5-Minute Bedtime Stories. We'll be back again real soon with a new story to share. Thank you so much, and good night.